In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix a broken WordPress site after you accidentally change your site URL or your WordPress URL. So I'm going to start by actually breaking that on this test site. So the way that this probably happened is if you went to Settings General, and then from there if you changed either the WordPress address or the site address, and I'll just demonstrate what that might look like. So let's say I add like a, actually that's not a good example. Let's say I add some other change in here, or alternatively you could even have maybe changed this entire domain to something else, and then you hit save changes. Then you'll notice that the site completely dies and you're locked out. If you try to just go to the front end of your site, you'll see that this actually is now in fact, this is kind of working because of the specific way that I did it, but you can see it's fairly broken. And so in order to fix this, we actually are no longer going to be able to access the WordPress admin, as you can see. And so in order to fix this, we actually have to go to our Bluehost account and go into the database and manually revert that change. So to do that, you're going to go to maya.bluehost.com, and then you're going to log into your account here. Okay, so we're going to put the password in and then log in. Okay, and now from here you're going to go to cPanel under hosting. Okay, and now you're going to scroll down until you find database tools, and from there you're going to go to PHP My Admin. Now you're going to get a really weird random username here. Just leave that as whatever it autofills and type in your same password that you used to log into your Bluehost account. And then once we're in here, this is the actual database management tool that will allow us to fix the change. First you have to find the right database. Okay, and now we need to find which database actually has this WordPress install in it. So you're going to just have to go through these one by one. Looks like this one's empty, so that's not it. This one, that's actually not, doesn't look like that's correct, but we're just going to check. You're going to go into something that's typically just going to be called WP_options, but in this case there's something else in there. That's the database table that we want to look at, and it looks like these are set to not the thing that we changed it to, so it's not this database either. I will note that you're probably only going to have one database in your install unless you've actually tried multiple or installed multiple copies of WordPress on your site. But it's really just a matter of looking around until you find the right one. So this also isn't it, so it's probably going to be one of these last two. And again, you want to look for something that has WP options in it. Okay, here we go, and it looks like it's this database. So once we find the right database, we want to be in the WP options table. And then you can see right at the top we have where it says option name, we have site URL and home, and those are both set to this extra example at the end. So what you're going to do is you're just going to revert the change that you made. So you're going to remove the example and just take it back to just creative.ascjportfolio.org in this case. In your case it's probably either a custom domain name that you've purchased or just your USC username.ascjportfolio.org. Once you edit those, you should be able to get back to your site now. So if you just go back to your main site URL, you can see that that's now in place, and if we go back to that /WP admin, we can now get back in and we're all good to go. And so if you go back to Settings General, you'll see that these have now changed back to what they originally were before you edited it. and now we're able to access the site again. Now if you do want to change where your site is located, you can do that by setting up a custom domain. And once you set up the domain and get your site pointed at it, only then should you actually go into WordPress and change these values. But in most cases you aren't going to want to change these because you can't actually move WordPress just by changing it here. And as you can see, there's a link here that will actually give you more information on how to move WordPress around and move your site around, so definitely check that out if you're interested in doing that. If you have any questions with this process or need help with anything else WordPress related, please stop by the Digital Lounge in ANN 301.